Welcome back to the Business Book Club, where we deep dive into essential reads for entrepreneurs and curious minds.
Glad to be back.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into, well, a true classic. It's guided countless professionals for decades. Million Dollar Consulting by Alan Weiss.
Oh yeah, foundational text.
It really is. And this isn't just a book about the mechanics of consulting, the how-to. It's more like a masterclass in fundamentally rethinking how you see your work, your worth.
And your relationships with clients, definitely.
Yeah.
It's about building a really thriving, high-value practice.
Exactly.
Alan Weiss's philosophy, it's interesting because it's almost 20 years old, the original book, but it's remained incredibly relevant.
Hasn't it just?
It's all about transforming your mindset.
Yeah.
Not just for financial success, though that's part of it, but for genuine personal and professional fulfillment. It really pushes back on conventional wisdom.
It does. So if you're out there, maybe you're an entrepreneur or freelancer, or really anyone looking to maximize your value and impact, and frankly, attract the kind of clients who really get what you bring to the table,
Yeah.
you're in for a treat. Our mission today is basically to equip you with the strategic mindset, the actionable insights from this really influential work. Get ready to shift your perspective.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this right from the start. Weiss dives straight into a pretty fundamental question, one you might think you know the answer to. What is a consultant, really?
Right. It seems obvious, but isn't.
Exactly. He points out, unlike doctors or lawyers, there aren't any formal barriers to entry. No big exams, no licensing board, usually.
Which sounds like a weakness, maybe.
You'd think so, but he argues it's actually its greatest strength, because it means the people who truly master the profession, they can stand out dramatically.
It absolutely does. And then he categorizes value-added consulting into 5 key areas. And this is crucial, I think, because it helps you understand how you deliver value and how to maybe increase it.
Okay, what are they?
So first, you've got content. That's simply what you know. Like
Right.
maybe you're an expert in retail store displays.
Okay, specialist knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Often where people start, especially coming out of corporate jobs, then there's process. This is about how you do things, helping clients become more self-sufficient.
Ah, like teaching them how to fish.
Precisely. Improving delegation skills in a team, for example. And Weiss really emphasizes this for solo practitioners. He says it's often far more valuable than just the content piece.
Right, so it's not just dumping information, it's embedding a capability. What are the other 3?
Okay, so the third is knowledge. He defines this as more experiential value, having been there before.
Like a former regulator advising a bank.
Perfect example. Then behavior. This focuses on interpersonal skills like facilitation or conflict resolution, sort of the softer human interaction side.
The art of it.
Yeah. And finally, special skills. These are often more innate talents, maybe like an instinctive sense of style for an image consultant.
Okay, so why break it down like that?
Well, because understanding this spectrum is kind of your roadmap. It helps you consciously move up the value chain. You might start with content from your old job, but the real wealth, the indispensability, that comes from mastering process and ultimately delivering wisdom, that deep, irreplaceable understanding of your client's world.
That distinction, it's so crucial. It reframes the whole client engagement, doesn't it?
Totally.
And it sets the stage for how Weiss thinks about attracting clients. Because if you're not just selling tasks, you need a different way to pull in the right kind of business.
Right.
And this is where his focus on results over mere tasks becomes just paramount. He argues this is the foundation for being a strategic partner, not just, a hired hand.
He uses some great contrast to make this point. Instead of saying, I'll survey all employees, which is task-based.
Right, the activity.
Yeah, you aim for the result. I'll provide recommendations to improve morale. Or instead of design a training program.
Focus on improved delegation skills.
Exactly. It fundamentally shifts the dynamic. You go from someone executing orders to a strategic partner who's trusted to find the best way to get those agreed-upon outcomes. You're selling the destination, not just the car.
That focus on results, it changes everything about the client conversation. And this leads to something incredibly powerful, I think, for anyone selling expertise. Weiss pushes for achieving conceptual agreement with the buyer before you even draft a proposal.
Yes, this is key.
And it's not just a quick chat, it's a deep dive, agreeing on 3 specific things. The objectives, the measurable success metrics, and the actual tangible value those outcomes bring to the client.
It's like planning the vacation before booking the flight. You agree on where you're going, what you'll see, how amazing it will be.
Before you even discuss the price of the ticket.
Exactly. That psychological shift from should I hire you to, okay, how should I use you? That's huge.
Okay, so once you've clarified the value you deliver, the
Yeah.
results, the next big question is, how do you get clients to see that and actually, come knocking on your door?
Right. The million-dollar question, literally.
And Weiss's answer is pretty radical compared to old school sales. He basically rejects the whole feet on the street, pushy sales model.
Completely. He champions what he calls market gravity.
Market gravity, explain that.
It's about creating this magnetic pull so prospects come to you. The dream scenario, he says, is someone calls you up and starts with, I've heard about your work.
That immediately changes the power dynamic.
Totally. And market gravity isn't passive waiting. It's built through consistent, high-visibility activities that make you known, make your expertise known, without you having to do the cold outreach.
Okay, so how do you build this gravity? He outlines a few key methods.
Yeah, several. The first one, he calls it the gold standard, is commercial publishing.
Writing books, articles, that kind of thing.
Exactly. He suggests a staircase approach.
Yeah.
Start small, maybe free articles locally, then work your way up national publications, commercially published books.
And the key is?
Write to genuinely help your readers. Don't just do it for publicity. The credibility follows naturally if the content is valuable.
He warns against self-publishing, though, right? If credibility is the goal.
He does. He says executives can often see through vanity presses. Commercial publishing signals a certain level of validation. It establishes you as a voice, makes people trust you before they even talk to you.
Makes sense. What else builds gravity?
Speaking. Getting yourself featured at events where your ideal buyers or the people who recommend buyers are gathered.
Puts you right in front of them as the expert.
Incredibly effective. Way more powerful than many traditional outreach methods, he argues.
Okay. And then there's one that might surprise people. Pro bono work.
Yeah, contributing your skills to nonprofits. It does good, obviously.
This is great in itself.
Absolutely. But it also gives you incredible visibility and networking opportunities. You meet community leaders who are often the same executives you want to reach in the corporate world.
Smart, pragmatic, and ethical.
And finally, something so simple but often missed. Referrals.
Just asking for them.
Systematically. Weiss calls referrals the coinage of my realm. Ask every single satisfied client. He even suggests making it easy for them, offering a choice of yeses.
Like, would you prefer to make an intro, let me use your name, or just give me contact details?
Exactly. Removes the friction, makes it easy for them to say yes in some way.
Okay, and what about online, websites, social media? His take is a bit different there, too.
Yeah, definitely counterintuitive for today. He insists your website is a credibility tool, not a sales tool.
Meaning?
It should showcase your expertise, testimonials, results, things that reinforce your value after someone's already heard of you. It's not for the hard sell. It's to make them want to come back.
And social media, LinkedIn, Twitter.
He's pretty dismissive, honestly, at least for reaching top-level corporate buyers. He sees it mostly as a time sink, a distraction from the real marketing that builds that market gravity. Provocative, maybe, but that's his view.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about something that sounds good, but Weiss warns against the success trap.
Yes. Success being more dangerous than failure.
How so? It sounds counterintuitive.
Because success breeds complacency, right? You find something that works, you keep doing it.
And you get steady, maybe arithmetic growth.
Exactly. But you miss out on the big leaps, the geometric exponential growth, because you're not pushing yourself anymore.
So how do you know if you're in the trap?
It's when you're comfortable. When you haven't felt stretched or even slightly scared by an assignment in a while. He advocates for actively pushing the envelope.
Taking on things that stretch you.
Yeah, even to the point where you might get rejected sometimes. He actually says if you're not failing periodically, you're probably not trying hard enough. You're stuck on a plateau.
Wow. So forget under-promise and over-deliver.
He calls that a poverty mentality. He says promise high value, deliver high value, and position yourself as a peer to the buyer. Always.
Okay, but pushing the envelope, seeking failure, it sounds risky. What does a prudent risk look like?
Good question. It's not about being reckless. A prudent risk, for Weiss, means maybe taking on a new type of project or working in a new industry.
But,
and this is crucial, doing it with a strong existing client relationship where there's trust and joint accountability.
Ah, so you're not going in cold and pretending you know something you don't?
Exactly.
Mm.
He shared an example, I think, about taking on survey work, which wasn't his core thing, but he did it with a trusted client. They designed it together, shared the responsibility. It expanded his firm's perceived capabilities without misrepresentation. It was strategic growth from a position of strength.
That makes sense. And it relies heavily on having those strong relationships in the first place.
Absolutely, which leads right into how you cultivate them.
Hmm.
Weiss talks about developing breakthrough relationships.
And he has specific ways to do that.
Yeah, he lists about 10. Things like proactively sending clients valuable info, even if it's not related to your current project.
Adding value beyond the contract.
Right. Giving them your personal cell number,
Hmm.
helping them get publicity, treating them like true partners.
And maybe the hardest one.
Probably not being afraid to take a stand, even if it means telling a client you think they're wrong.
Oof, that takes guts.
It does. But he argues your integrity, your honest counsel, that's your ultimate value. That's what builds those breakthrough relationships.
Okay, so your practice grows, you're building these relationships. The next thought is often, I need to hire people, build a big firm.
Right, the traditional scaling model.
But Weiss advises against that, at least for solo practitioners aiming for real wealth and freedom.
He does. He's big on expanding resources through collaboration and strategic alliances, not by building a heavy, costly infrastructure.
Keep the overhead low, stay agile.
Exactly. He even gives a formula for sharing revenue fairly in collaborations. Breaks it down. 50% for closing the sale, the acquisition.
Oh.
30% for providing the methodology or the IP, technology. And 20% for actually doing the work, the delivery. Everyone gets their share of each part based on what they contributed.
That's very specific. Ensures fairness.
Mm-hmm. And he generally prefers subcontracting or alliances over formal partnerships because you keep total control. And always, always aim to shift all the work you can to the client.
Why is that? Seems like giving away work.
It transfers skills, develops their people, makes them more self-sufficient, which ultimately builds more trust and makes you more valuable as a strategic partner, not just a doer.
Okay, shifting work. That leads nicely into proposals, another area where people can stumble.
Oh, definitely. For Weiss, the proposal itself is almost an afterthought. He says a bulletproof proposal is won or lost way before you type anything
How so?
because of all the steps you take before writing it. Those 10 essential steps.
Right, like identifying the real economic buyer.
Building that trust. Establishing the objectives, measures, value, that conceptual agreement we talked about earlier.
Getting them to agree on the destination and the value first.
Exactly. And offering that choice of yeses within the proposal, maybe different options or approaches, gives them control.
And crucially, when do you talk fees?
Never until after you have that conceptual agreement on the value. Value first, then price.
And the proposal delivery.
Promise it fast, like courier within 24, 48 hours. Set a clear follow-up date. And the proposal itself, keep it short,
Sure.
like max 2.5 pages. Focus entirely on what the client gets, the outcomes, the value, not your process, not your fancy credentials.
Wow, 2.5 pages. That's concise.
It forces clarity.
Okay, final big area, money. The hydrodynamics of cash flow sounds fancy.
It does, but the core rule is simple, almost obvious.
Yeah.
Cash has to flow in faster than it flows out,
Easier said than done sometimes.
for sure. But Weiss gets into the discipline, the psychology of it. He strongly, strongly favors getting paid the full fee before you start work.
The whole fee up front.
Yes, often offering a small discount for it.
Yeah.
He says never accept payment only at the end and definitely not contingent on results.
Why is he so adamant about that?
Because it undermines your professionalism. It tanks your cash flow. It creates ethical knots. Getting paid up front shifts you from being a vendor chasing money to a respected partner whose value is already recognized.
Changes the whole relationship dynamic from day one.
Exactly. And he also stresses treating your banker like a partner. Build that relationship when you're strong, not when you're desperate for a loan. You grow by maximizing income, not by trying to cut corners.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've covered a lot. Let's talk about sustaining this growth. Weiss has this quote, "If you don't blow your own horn, there is no music."
Yeah, it's about omnipresence. Constant strategic communication to keep that market gravity strong.
Beyond the publishing and speaking we already mentioned.
He adds a neat trick. Get your live speeches professionally recorded. Put it in your contract the client can record for free, but you get the master copies.
Why?
Gives you amazing marketing material. High-quality live audience reactions adds huge credibility. You can turn those into audio products, downloads, passive income, more gravity.
Smart repurposing. And this all feeds into a bigger idea he has. Something about never losing clients.
Yes, the value-added discounting principle of never losing clients, or TVADDNLC for, well, maybe not short.
Yeah, quite the acronym. What's the core idea?
It's about becoming so valuable, so indispensable over time, that your fees basically become irrelevant. Your wisdom is irreplaceable.
How does that happen? Moving beyond just knowledge.
Exactly. As you work with a client longer, across projects, you move from providing knowledge to offering wisdom.
Meaning?
That deep, intimate grasp of their organization, their culture, their politics, their real goals. That kind of wisdom you can't just hire off the street.
So in tough times, they cut expenses.
But they don't cut wisdom. It makes you immune to competition. Your value transcends price. It's the ultimate long game.
Speaking of the long game, that connects to his idea of thinking of the fourth sale first, right?
Absolutely. It's a mindset shift for every new client. That first project.
Yep.
It's not just a project.
It's a gateway.
Exactly. A gateway to maybe 10 different streams of business with that one relationship over time. So sometimes it's smarter to take a smaller, easier initial project.
Build trust, get a win.
Yeah, establish that foundation rather than overreaching right away and maybe messing up the massive long-term potential.
He had an example of that, didn't he? A small project turning huge.
Yeah, a coaching gig, maybe 15, 25K estimated, turned into over $500,000 in organizational development work over time. All because he saw the bigger picture, the fourth sale from the beginning.
Incredible. So to keep that long-term pipeline flowing, what's the one thing that underpins it all? The secret sauce.
Referrals. We mentioned them for market gravity, but he comes back to them again and again. It's that critical for sustained growth.
The greatest sin is
failing to ask.
Yeah.
Systematically, diligently ask every happy client. Use that choice of yeses to make it dead simple for them.
Got it. Okay, wrapping up, Weiss brings it back to the why. Money is a means to an end.
Yeah, true wealth isn't just the income statement. It's about achieving discretionary time.
Freedom. Time to pursue family, interests, personal growth.
Exactly. Self-actualization. He argues a successful consulting firm isn't just profitable. It makes a real contribution to its clients, to the environment around it.
And if you do that and achieve your personal goals and gain that discretionary time,
then you're in rarefied air, as he puts it. But ultimately, the drive has to come from you, your mindset, your willingness to grow.
he has a final provocative thought on that, doesn't he? About change.
He does, basically.
Yeah.
Constantly seek to reinvent yourself. Because the world, times, tech, society, economies, it's always changing.
So you have to change with it or ahead of it.
If you get in that habit, you never play catch-up. You build ultimate relationships that are always being renewed. Turn your gravity into magnetism and just never stop evolving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so distilling all that, what's your big takeaway from $1 Million Consulting?
For me, it's really that shift. Moving from just being a task doer, a hired hand, to becoming that wise partner focused on outcomes and deep relationships. It's about building that magnetic pull market gravity and having the courage to take those prudent risks.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, maybe it's also that idea that the path to a really thriving practice isn't just about hustle, but about fundamentally changing how you perceive and communicate your value. Focus on results, get conceptual agreement, build real wisdom.
And don't forget the end goal, that real wealth isn't just cash. It's the discretionary time you earn by creating something truly valuable for others and for yourself. Continuously reinventing keeps you indispensable.
Absolutely. Well, if you enjoyed this deep dive into $1 Million Consulting and hopefully it sparked some aha moments, be sure to subscribe to the Business Book Club. We're here to help you get those key insights, get informed quickly and thoroughly without the overwhelm.
That's the goal. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep creating that magnetic pull in your own business. Thanks for tuning in.
Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.